Coming up, the second round starts with a pair of wins on the road. This is Locked On Now NBA.
The biggest games, the best performances, expert analysis. You are Locked On Now.
Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Now NBA, local experts weighing in on the biggest stories on the hardwood. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. We have all of our Locked On NBA hosts here to recap the playoff action from Sunday. We're going to start out with the Celtics, who saw Giannis get hot in yesterday's best performance.
The best performance.
Hold up.
The Celtics earned home court advantage in their second round series with the Bucks, but didn't matter when you're facing off against the reigning champs and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Locked On Celtics goes over the Celtics loss and Giannis's triple-double.
Hey there, John Corrales here at the TD Garden after a 101-89 Celtics loss in Game 1 to the Milwaukee Bucks, where that Bucks defense is a little bit different than that Brooklyn Nets defense. I asked Ime Udoka a couple of days ago if they were expecting a smack in the face, a little dose of reality in Game 1, and they should have expected that because that defense that the Celtics just saw was stifling. It stopped them from doing anything that they wanted. Their points in the paint were almost non-existent. The three-point shooting was not great. Jason Tatum was blitzed, harassed. Jaylen Brown had a terrible game, and Giannis Antetokounmpo picked the Celtics apart with a triple-double. This is an elite team in the Milwaukee Bucks. This is the defending champion, Milwaukee Bucks. And the Boston Celtics have been cruising for a significant portion of this season. Now, the dose of reality sets in. They have a lot of adjustments to make. You can say that maybe they're not going to shoot quite as bad, and maybe some people will complain about the officiating. But the bottom line is that Milwaukee Bucks defense was insane, unreal, relentless, and when Giannis is slinging the ball like that, no one's going to beat the Milwaukee Bucks. The Celtics have to take away those role players, they have to take away those perimeter shots, and they have to go in there with a better plan for scoring on Brook Lopez, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and hitting some shots. We'll see what they do, but I'll talk about it on the Locked On Celtics podcast. Make sure you are subscribed and watch the show on YouTube.
The Golden State Warriors won on the road without Draymond Green on the floor for the second half. Locked On Warriors recaps the win and that controversial ejection.
Cyrus Sotz is here with Locked On Warriors. What a thriller of a Game 1, Dub Nation. If you're feeling like the Warriors were playing 5-on-6, you have every right to feel that way. Draymond Green taken out of the game with a flagrant 2 in the second quarter on what was a very questionable call. Yet despite that, the Warriors still come away with a 117-116 victory. Jordan Poole led all Warriors scorers off the bench, scoring 31 points. He also led the team in rebounding with 8. He was tied with Otto Porter Jr. and Andrew Wiggins. Each player collected 8 rebounds to lead the Warriors. Gary Payton II had another fantastic night, especially defensively on Ja Morant. He also went 4 for 5 from the field, but he collected 6 rebounds in the process, 8 points in 23 minutes of play. And Stephen Curry, of course, another great game from the legend, 24 points and 4 assists. Klay Thompson hit a huge three-pointer. You could call it the game-winning 3 at the end of the game. He also missed 2 free throws later on that fortunately did not cost them the game. And here is the stat that sticks out the most, Dub Nation, for the Golden State Warriors. They were playing a Memphis Grizzlies team that is known for offensive rebounding. Yet despite that, they tied the Grizzlies in offensive rebounds with 16 apiece, and in overall rebounding, despite fielding a relatively small lineup, the Golden State Warriors won the battle of the boards 51-47. These were all huge factors, resulting in a 117-116 Golden State Warriors victory. They lead the series 1-0. I tell you, you can follow me on Twitter at DogSurfRoadshow, but my account was hacked today. Talk about a stressful day, reliving memories of Draymond Green being taken out of a vitally important game by crooked, corrupt, incompetent NBA officials. That is my opinion, of course, but there has to be some validity there. But you can follow the program on Twitter at Locked On Dubs. And I'll have all this and more for you tomorrow on Locked On Warriors.
That's it for Locked On Now NBA. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. Make sure you check out Locked On NBA and your team's Locked On podcast. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Now.